Billionaire investor Ray Dalio recently appeared on NBC's Meet the Press, warning that President Donald Trump's economic policies could lead the U.S. into a world order similar to that of the 1930s. He expressed concern that we are at a critical crossroads and that a situation could arise that goes beyond mere economic recession. Given that Dalio accurately predicted the 2008 financial crisis, his warnings are taken seriously by many. He explained that a traditional economic recession generally means 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. However, what he is worried about is not just a simple downturn, but the collapse of the current monetary order. This could have serious implications for the global economy, and historically, such changes have occurred repeatedly. President Trump's trade policies are causing turmoil in the global economy. In particular, his tariff policies are increasing uncertainty and eroding consumer confidence. Recently, tariffs on China were iced to 145%, and amidst this situation, more economists are mentioning the possibility of a recession. But Dalio warns that a serious situation could arise that goes beyond a simple recession. He argued that a combination of high levels of debt and the emergence of new powers challenging existing great powers could lead to a profound change in the world order. He emphasized that this period is similar to the 1930s, pointing out that historical cycles can repeat themselves. He added that such changes are avoidable and that better methods for debt restructuring exist. Dalio stressed that the outcome could vary significantly depending on whether tariffs are implemented in a stable manner or in a chaotic and destructive way. The current tariff policies are causing significant disruption to the production system, negatively impacting the economy as a whole. He argued that the U.S. Congress should reduce the budget deficit to 3% of GDP and manage the trade deficit properly. Otherwise, issues between supply and demand will arise. How can the average American take these warnings into account? The first step is to build an emergency fund. An emergency fund should cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and if you work in a sector likely to be affected by trade wars and tariffs, it's wise to prepare an even larger amount. Additionally, high-interest debt, especially credit cards, should be prioritized for repayment. Avoiding emotional spending and reducing unnecessary expenses during uncertain times will be a better choice in the long run. After managing your emergency fund and high-interest debt, you should prioritize saving for retirement and long-term goals. Diversifying additional income sources is also a good strategy. You might consider starting a side hustle or retraining to adapt to changes in the job market. Moreover, it is important to diversify investments across various asset classes to mitigate risk. By adjusting the mix of stocks, bonds, and other assets, you can reduce the risk in your portfolio. If retirement is approaching, it's advisable to adjust your portfolio towards lower-risk assets like dividend stocks. Alternative investments such as gold or real estate can also be considered as hedges against inflation and recession. If you are unfamiliar with hedging strategies, consulting a financial advisor to explore ways to mitigate risk in your portfolio is advisable. Finally, you should adjust your retirement strategy and align it with your risk tolerance. For younger investors, it's important to avoid panic selling, as they have time to ride out market recoveries. Ultimately, Ray Dalio's warnings carry an important message that goes beyond just economic issues. We must face the current situation head-on and take necessary actions, thoroughly preparing for future uncertainties.